Hello, today we are going to discuss about the important points to be kept in mind by every GST registered taxpayer or every expert who is practicing the law of GST. So today is the last day of the financial year and we have a new financial year starting from tomorrow. So from the GST perspective, which are the areas or which are the points to be kept in mind, we will look into that. The first point which we have to consider is that today is the last date to file letter of undertaking. That means if you are an exporter of whether it is goods or a service and you are intending to export without payment of tax from 1st April 2025, in such a situation you have to file letter of undertaking in the GST portal today itself so that you can export without payment of tax from tomorrow onwards. So don't forget, please keep in mind that LUT is a yearly filing. So whatever LUT you already filed in 24-25 will expire today. So take steps to file LUT for the next year today itself so that you can have a wonderful exports without any issues. And if you are planning to export with the payment of tax, then you need not file this LUT declaration. So this is the number one. Number two is regarding composition dealer. If you are a regular taxpayer and you wish to move to composition from next year onwards, that means from 25-26 onwards, what you have to do is to file a CMP02 form today itself on the GST portal so that you will switch over from regular scheme to composition from tomorrow onwards. At the same time, if you are already a composition dealer and you want to continue in composition dealer in next year as well, you need not file any form, anything. So the point is, take a decision now whether you want to continue in the composition or whether you want to continue in regular scheme. If you want to move from regular to composition, then you have to file this form. At the same time, you have to also need to follow some other procedures like filing of ITC03 in the GST portal within 60 days. That means before 30th May of 2025. ITC03 is the details of taxes that you have to repay to the government because you were under regular scheme moving to composition. So you would have already availed a lot of ITC on inputs and capital goods which you have to repay to the government. So that is the second point. The third point is about if you are a GST registered taxpayer, this is also important for you that what you have to do is from the beginning of a financial year, you have to follow a unique bill series. That means if you are issuing invoices to the customers, it should have a bill number. So the bill number must be unique for a financial year. So what you can do is you give a number like 001 bar 2025-26 as a unique number. So you can have any series of invoice series, you can have any number, but you can have any number of series, but the number you give must be unique. So the example I have given 001 bar 2025-26 or A bar 001 bar 25-26, anything that you like. So it should be done as per the law. Another important point, the fourth point is about goods transport agencies. All of us know the goods transport agencies are basically coming under reverse charge mechanism. So goods transport agencies provide service to the customers. So the customers will be paying GST on RCM basis. So presently we are in the reverse charge mechanism. But if a GTA service provider wish to move from reverse charge mechanism to forward charge mechanism, is it possible? Yes. What he has to do is he has to file a declaration in the GST portal so that he will start collecting GST from his customers from tomorrow onwards, from 1st of April. So he is moving from reverse charge to forward charge, so that in the next 1 year he will be under forward charge. Suppose a person is already under forward charge in the current year, that means 24-25, and he want to move to reverse charge from next year. So can he do it? Yes, he can move from forward charge to reverse charge as well. For that also you have to file a declaration in the GST portal today itself. And one more thing, if you are under reverse charge in this year and you want to continue reverse charge the next year as well, you need not file any declaration. Similarly, if you are under forward charge and you want to continue in forward charge in the next year as well, you have to do nothing to be done. So the declaration filing is important if there is a switchover from one system to the other. There is a change in the system, then you have to mandatorily file the declaration before, at starting of a financial year. That means today you have to file for the next year. So one more thing to be kept in mind, if you do this, you have to take some other steps as well. For example, suppose you are presently under reverse charge and from April onwards you want to move forward to forward charge. So you are eligible to claim lot of input tax credit on the vehicles that you already purchased when you were under reverse charge mechanism. So you have to avail ITC. There is a benefit given to you. You can avail the ITC. And take another situation. Suppose you are under reverse forward charge in this year. You want to switch over to reverse charge from next year onwards. So in that case, what you have to do? You have to reverse your ITC on the vehicles, because when you purchased vehicles, you were under forward charge and you promised that you will continue to use these vehicles for providing GTS services, and you promised to collect and pay GST. But before the expiry of 5 years, you are moving to reverse charge mechanism. So as per the law, whatever vehicles which is purchased in the last 5 years, the proportionate ITC is to be reversed by you. So this point is very important. Not only opting the declaration, but subsequent compliances are also important. The fifth issue, the fifth point to be kept in mind is about ISD, Input Service Distributor. So if you are a GST registered taxpayer and you have more than one registration, maybe 2 or more registrations under the same permanent account number, in that situation, if you are availing input services commonly and receiving the invoices in your head office, what you can do is you can distribute this credit to the respective other registrations in your PAN. So this can be done using IST. The important point is the IST concept was optional till today, 31st March 2025. But from 1st April onwards, this IST registration is mandatory. That means if you have more than one GST registration and you receive common input services, you want to distribute this credit, you have to mandatorily take IST registration and distribute the credit as per the law. Coming to the sixth point to be kept in mind is about determination of your aggregate turnover. That means we have to calculate the aggregate turnover, annual turnover for the whole year to determine, to understand which are the type of procedures we have to follow, which are the compliances we have to follow. For example, if your turnover exceeds 20 lakh rupees, if your turnover in services exceeds 20 lakh in a financial year, you have to take GST registration. Or if your turnover exceeds, if you are a supplier in goods or you are a trader, the moment you cross 40 lakhs turnover in a financial year, then you are liable to take GST registration. So if your turnover is below the limit, you can also think of cancellation of registration. So your turnover is very important. You have to calculate your turnover. Today is the last day of the financial year. So you can very easily, today evening, you can work out what is my turnover for the last 1 year from 1st April 2024 till 31st March 25. How much is my turnover? How much is the total turnover, so that I can take a decision whether to register in GST or whether to cancel my registration, or whether I can go for composition scheme, or whether I am liable to exit from the composition scheme. Lot of things. Take for example, if your turnover crosses 5 crore rupees, then you are not eligible for QRMP scheme. If your turnover exceeds 1.5 crore, you are eligible to opt for QRMP scheme. And you can see if your turnover exceeds 5 crore rupees, then you have to compulsorily file GSTR 1 and 3B monthly. And if your turnover exceeds 5 crore rupees, you have to give HSN code or SAC code, 6 digit. And if your turnover is below 5 crore rupees, you have to give 4-digit HSN code. So based on turnover. Take the case if your turnover exceeds 5 crore rupees, you have to do e-invoicing from 1st of April 2025. If your turnover exceeded 5 crore rupees, if your turnover exceeded 5 crore rupees in 24-25 for the first time, then from 1st April 25 onwards, you have to do, e-invoicing. So a lot of things are there. If your turnover exceeds 2 crore rupees, then you have to file annual return, GSTR 9. And if your turnover exceeds 5 crore rupees, you have to file GSTR 9Z. So lot of compliances are linked to the total turnover in a financial year. So we are going to end the financial year, work out your turnover, and understand which are the compliances that you have to follow. Another important point is about filing of GSTR 9C. So this is very, very important for you. That means we know if our turnover, aggregate turnover exceeds 2 crore rupees, we have to mandatorily file annual return in GSTR 9. And if our aggregate turnover exceeds 5 crore rupees, then we have to mandatorily file reconciliation statement, self-certified reconciliation statement in GSTR 9C that we have to do. So that everybody knows. But there are many taxpayers who have filed GSTR 9 but failed to file GSTR 9C. So these type of people are given an amnesty so that they can file GSTR 9C without late fee for GSTR 9C. That means there is no late fee for delayed filing of 9C. But there is another issue. If you file GSTR 9 today and 9C filed after 10 days, then late fee for GSTR 9 will be liable till the date of filing GSTR 9C. So the point is, there is no late fee for GSTR 9C, but for filing of GSTR 9, filing of GSTR 9C is mandatory. That means GSTR 9 will be treated as completed. GSTR 9 will be treated as filed completely only if you file GSTR 9C as well. So what is the benefit now we are going to get? The benefit is from financial year 17-18 till financial year 22-23, if you have filed GSTR 9 already but failed to file GSTR 9C, in those cases, if you file such GSTR 9C today on 31st March 2025, you will be liable to pay only late fee up to the date of filing GSTR 9. You need not worry about delay in filing GSTR 9C. But if you fail to file GSTR 9C today, suppose you are filing GSTR 9C for a financial year after 1 month. Suppose you are filing on 30th of April 2025, you have to pay late fee for GSTR 9 up to 30th of April 2025. So GSTR 9C has no late fee, but GSTR 9 late fee will be applicable till the date of filing GSTR 9C. That is very, very important. Another point that you have to keep in mind is today is the last day to opt amnesty scheme. So if you are GST registered taxpayer and you have received notices or demands for the first 3 years of GST, that means 17-18, 18-19 and 19-20. In these 3 years, if you have received the notices under section 73, then you have an option given. What is the option? You are exempted. The interest and penalty is waived with a condition that you must pay tax before 31st March 25. That means today. So if you pay tax today, interest and penalty for the last many years will be waived. So that will be very good if the demand against you is no, you are not going to win this case if you continue with the appeal. So if you find that there is no chance of winning this particular case which is passed against you or the notice issued against you, it is better for you to opt this amnesty by paying the taxes today so that you get waiver for interest and penalty. You have to file an application as well in this regard in SPL 01, SPL 02. That application can be filed at maximum up to 30th of June 2025. This is a beneficial thing. One more point connected to the amnesty is there are many cases where the taxpayers got the notices and orders for availing ITC after the time limit. So all of us know that the time limit to avail ITC for the first 4 years, 17-18, 18-19, 19-20 and 2021 has been extended to 30th November 2021. So if you have defaulted in availing ITC within the time, but you made sure that all these pending returns filed before 30th November 2021, then you are eligible for a rectification procedure so that the entire demand against you will be waived. There is no need to make any payment, and if you are already in appeal, you are eligible to claim refund of the pre-deposit you already made to file the appeal. So this is a very, very beneficial provision. For undergoing this special rectification procedure, you have time up to 7th of April 2025. So that is very, very important for you. And the last point I have to share with you is about the restaurant. You know, presently, how restaurant pays tax? Presently, a restaurant pays tax at the rate of 5% without ITC. A restaurant which is a regular dealer, regular registration applied restaurant, they are paying 5% GST without input tax credit. They can collect 5% GST from the customers and they cannot avail ITC. That is the procedure. And the next point to be kept in mind, suppose there is a restaurant which is located within a hotel and the room rent of any of the rooms in that hotel is more than 7,500 rupees, then the rate of tax for the food supplied in the restaurant is 18% with ITC. So that means they have to compulsorily collect 18% GST in the restaurant on the supply of food and beverage, and they can avail ITC for the restaurant inward supplies. So these are the 2 points. Now a question may come, what about the restaurants in a hotel which is charging less than 7,500 rupees for the entire rooms? That means there is no rooms having a daily rent of more than 7,500 rupees. All the rooms in the financial year is rented out for less than 7,500 rupees per day. In such a situation, there is a change. In such a situation, if that hotel is having a restaurant, presently the rate of tax is 5% without ITC because the room rent is below 7,500. But from 1st April 2025 onwards, that means from tomorrow onwards, the rate of tax for such restaurants will be given an option. Either you can follow 5% without ITC or you can follow 18% with ITC, and 18% with ITC benefit, the option is available only if you file a declaration to the department with the department saying that I am going to opt 18% with ITC option. For that, you have to file the declaration today. Do it now so that you get the option of 18% with ITC from tomorrow onwards. So I summarize this particular fact. Restaurant, standalone restaurant, always 5% without ITC. Hotels with restaurant and hotels having more than 7,500 rupees per room rent in the previous financial year, mandatorily 18% with ITC, and the restaurants in the hotels where entire rooms are below 7,500 per day, they have two options: either continue with 5% without ITC, or opt 18% with ITC by filing declaration today. So these are some of the important points that as you as a registered taxpayer, or as a tax consultant, or a tax practitioner, or an advocate, or anybody who is connected with the GST, these are important for you. This will help you to keep updated with the law. So far, if you are liking this video, you can click the like button and give me a simple thank you. That will motivate me to do more such valuable content absolutely free of cost. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.